The Miter Incarnon was a huge surprise to me. I have used this weapon before, but now it has become even better with updated builds, and in today's video I have two different builds for you guys. You can use this weapon basically on any single Warframe that you want to use, and the damage and the Incarnon form is incredibly good. So if all of this on screen and all of the sounds that I'm making are making this interesting, let's hop into the video. The Miter Incarnon is one of the oldest weapons in the game. It is obtained by completing the Leech Krill and Captain Vor boss fight on Ceres. You can get all of the blueprints and everything you need here. I do recommend you get two variants because you will need it for the Panthera, but that is up to you. While you're farming it, get the second one so you can get the Panthera out of the way. But now, talking about the stats of the weapon itself. First of all, what does this weapon do? It fires off a shuriken or a blade, SAWBLADE, that deals primarily slash damage and 10% critical chance, 2 times critical multiplier, and the Incarnon form gets even better. Now, the base shot itself is not the worst thing in the world. It will get the job done and you will charge up your Incarnon form. It is a little bit slower, it does deal pretty good amounts of damage, especially with the builds in today's video, and all you really want to know is the Incarnon form. So we have much better stats here, 20% critical, 2.3 times critical multiplier, of course primarily slash damage, and 56% status chance. This fires. That does heat damage, of course, and it seeks out enemies. It also bounces around 5 times and has a small area of effect. The Incarnon form is really like the Latron Incarnon, but it doesn't armor strip, it just eliminates the enemies right off the bat. We have covered the weapon itself, now let's cover the evolutions because, of course, you want to know them. The first one, unlocking the Incarnon form, that's pretty plain and simple, don't really need to explain that one, but the Plentiful Mayhem is the second evolution. This increases my damage by 57 and it consumes my ammo directly from capacity, increasing my damage by another 20%. If you have a channeled ability, use Swift SAWBLADES, it's going to be much better because it increases your fire rate, so the build changes up. Evolution 3, Ready Retaliation. On reload from empty, 100% reload speed. In my opinion, this is my most useful evolution out of all of them. You can personally choose either one that you want, Mercenary Chamber or Swift Deliverance, but I love the reload speed. Evolution 4, I use Commodore's Fortune. Now, I could technically increase it with Critical Parallel, increasing the critical chance by 12 and then status chance by 12, but the status at 56% is pretty high. We're gonna boost that anyway with the build, and I think that Commodore's Fortune is, in my opinion, the best option. SAWBLADE Storm, keep this in mind. The hold charge shot for 1 second to increase area effect, this does not work on the Incarnon form, so that's why I didn't choose it, because the Incarnon form is what we want. Now, I did forgot to mention, the good thing about the charge shots is that they have innate 2.5 meters punch through, so you already can charge up your Incarnon form fully if you line up a couple of enemies and just punch through them. But to make it easier to punch through them, we of course want to cover the build. This is my universal viral Miter build. This is the one that I use in 99% of my gameplay. It has viral, heat, rifle elementalist that is going to help us out with the damage as well. Because of the slash damage and the heat that you do, you're going to be just deleting enemies and all of the other mods. I do have Prime Shred. If you don't have Prime Shred, use the normal one. This will increase the punch through and it will also increase the fire rate. This makes the 20 charge shots that you have in the Incarnon form basically disappear, but it is very, very good. Now, we also want to cover another build that I have, keeping in mind that the gameplay that you saw previously at the beginning was Revenant without buffing this weapon. The gameplay that you're seeing now is of course Warframes that you might be using on a daily basis, and something that I would like for you guys to try out is this Blast build for the Miter. Now, the Miter works really good with Blast. If you can group them up, the enemies at least, with any sort of ability, Nautilus included, you can make this weapon shine. You don't necessarily need to because of the bouncing shots and they seek out enemies as well, and they're usually grouped up, so this Blast build is gonna be an incredibly good thing to try out as well. I've used this, it works really fine in Steel Path, no issues, and if you pick a normal Warframe, unlike Revenant, you can just buff your weapon, because Revenant can't really buff your weapon. So basically choose anything else, and this weapon is amazing. But As I have seen, as you guys have may seen in the gameplay, even with Revenant, the base weapon in and of itself is incredibly good. The Incarnate form, the bouncing, the seeking out of enemies, the amount of heat damage, the amount of damage that you do in general is incredibly good. The bad side is the charging up speed is very slow. Sometimes you can miss a couple of shots and then you need to, aim a couple of other ones, and then charging up your Incarnate form seems sometimes like a chore, but that could be just a skill issue on my part. Other than that, when you get into the Incarnate form, it is just beautiful. You can clear out rooms almost better than 90% of the Warframes in the game. But I hope you guys enjoyed the build. If you guys did, do leave a like, a comment, and do subscribe for more. I do try to make as many videos and as many helpful videos for you guys as I can. And this has been me, the Weasel, over and out.